Hello everyone and welcome to part 2 of the Gackt Iceberg. In the last episode I covered the first 3 tiers, so this time we'll be starting from tier 4. I won't bore you with an intro, I assume you have already watched the first part. If you haven't, then I would highly encourage you to check it out before watching this video. Just as a reminder, the author of this iceberg is Amy at Gacktology on Twitter, who also provided info on all of the entries. The NSFW content warning is still applicable. And as usual, thank you to Haitani for still being my patron. In high school, Gackt had a teacher who would hit him a lot. Apparently, corporal punishment was common in Japanese schools back then. It was banned in all settings in 2020. Anyways, back to Gackt. He and a few of his friends lifted the teacher's car and mounted it against the wall of the school parking lot. This story is sometimes brought up in interviews. I just imagine the friends being the guys from Malice Misery. Gackt used to post selfies of himself in just a towel, often after showering, on his Instagram. There's a video of Gackt chugging a whole bottle of tequila in just 1 minute at his birthday party. Gackt has commented on the video saying, "Stop telling me to stop, I have regretted this enough, sorry I'm a moron." The video inspired people to record videos trying to outdo him. Fans have speculated that Gackt and Yoshiki of X-Japan don't get along due to their different work ethic. The rumors started due to their supergroup performing only one live show, which I'll talk about later. As was said in the previous episode, Gackt and Yoshiki actually get along quite well. Gackt made his Twitter account in December 2010. He started actively using it in the aftermath of the earthquake in March 2011. Today he has over 1 million followers. Some of his posts are honestly just what you would expect from him. Hyde is the vocalist of Lark and Seal. While writing the story for his vampire film titled Moonchild, Gackt had Hyde in mind for the character named Kay. Gackt insisted that the movie wouldn't work without Hyde, so he was given the task of trying to convince Hyde to star in it. When Hyde was invited to Gackt's house to read the script, the room was so dark that he had to read it while holding a cigarette lighter. I couldn't find an answer for why there was no light in the room. In Fly Me to Saitama, there is a kiss scene between Gackt and his co-star Yusuke Iseya. The scene was added upon Gackt's suggestion. Gackt spends about 70% of his time in Kuala Lumpur, the capital of Malaysia. His house stands in a gated community in the city outskirts. It is a 1700 square miles modern Balinese villa with a half basement level.
Hi guys, basically I'm now standing in front of Gackt's house, J-pop singer, and this is in Malaysia. This is a very close and a very small neighborhood, and the security is very tight here, and there's lots of expats who are staying here. So this is where Mr. Gackt or Gackt-san staying here.
On the comedy show Utaban, Gackt got to deal out punishment to the host in the form of a flick to the forehead. To demonstrate how powerful it is, a glass bottle was put in front of him and his finger was armed with a joint ring for protection. The bottle was shattered.
これはね、結構来るんですよ。
これにやってもらえますか？こっちですか？
ええ。
はい。外してくださいよ、こんなパリーンとか言っても。
Kissmark was Gackt's first fan club. It was established in the spring of 1999 when he started his solo career. It went defunct after he broke with his management at the time. This entry is related to something we'll discuss in the next year. The company that was running Gackt's short-lived first fan club, Kissmark, released a Gackt figure that was actually just Squall Leonhardt. As for who Squall is, I'll talk about it in a moment. Gackt has an older sister who has been involved with his work as an artist behind the scenes from the beginning of his career. According to Gackt, she is a badass and has gone through several marriages. They have lived together for a long time in multiple locations, which led to Gackt becoming a father figure to her child. Mai is a daughter of Gackt's older sister. She has appeared on the Blomaga and some of the Game Center videos which we'll talk about later. More recently, she has been responsible for the content related to Gackt's dogs on Gackt's fan club service. Gackt loves to eat bread but only allows himself to do it when he is in France. After eating his first bread in Yes in 2018, he commented, "When I started my solo project, I decided not to take any carbs and 1 meal a day. Only when I come to France I'm allowed to eat breads. It's a tiny happy, but I'm so happy. I haven't had a rice for 20 years though." While promoting the single Episode 0, originally made using the Vocaloid Gakupo, Gackt performed the song on TV while dressed as a gothic version of Gakupo. Gackt has ridden horses for many occasions including festivals, movie, drama roles, and even during his concerts. He likes to go out riding in his free time. Gackt is known for changing his hairstyle quite a lot and he has tried just about anything. His look during the Diabolos tour in 2005 featured cornrows leading into long extensions. Skin was a rock supergroup started by Gackt, Yoshiki, Sugizo and Miyami in 2007. They held one infamously troubled gig at the Anime Expo in 2007 with Gackt Job bassist Juken as a support member. All band activity was suddenly stopped without any information following their debut show. The word chunibyo, translated to middle second syndrome, is a term used to describe teens with grandiose delusions, who desperately want to stand out and who have convinced themselves that they have hidden knowledge or secret powers. Gackt blames his infantile sense of humor and love for perverted jokes on it. When Gackt was unable to find an appropriately sized humidifier for his bedroom, he made a ceiling-to-floor waterfall there instead. As mentioned in the previous episode, Gackt's date of birth was unknown until it was publicly revealed in 2012. However, Gackt claims that he never had any intention of hiding it. In fact, the date July 4th, 1973 appeared on Gackt's gravestone, visible in the opening and ending video of his The 6th Day and The 7th Night concert in 2004. Gackt has an infamous firm handshake. Comedians on TV like to overreact to the handshake with bone-crushing sound effects added in post. The top page of the fan club community site GacktandTiers.com featured a theme parkish layout leading you to a different section of the site. The central feature was the Gackt Castle, which led to things like Gackt's blog. The lights would be on when he was online. Shinya, the drummer of Diren Grey, is a quiet and introverted type of person. He admires Gackt a lot. He went to a party hosted by Gackt. During the party, Gackt was confused by Shinya's quiet demeanor and thought that Shinya didn't enjoy himself at all and must not like him. However, as it turned out, Shinya described the event as the best time of his life. Gackt has collaborated with Japanese credit card company Orico, which issued cards with a Gackt design. Another infamous thing about Gackt is his inflammatory temper. He has mellowed a bit in recent years and vowed to stop raising his voice when getting into an argument. Even Gackt's dog Inner had a block on the old community site. Inner served as the spokesdog for an environment. Inner served as the spokesdog. Inner served as the spokesdog for an environmental preservation organization, as he was a very environmentally conscious dog. He even had his own online game made in Flash. Underland was a subscription site that offered Gackt content such as wallpapers and emoji that could be used on Japanese flip phones. The service was discontinued when most Japanese people had switched to using smartphones. A few years later, Gackt would start another subscription service called Gackt Phone, which offered similar perks as well as access to advanced ticket sales. Game Center, or just Game Center, is a lengthy series of Let's Play videos which involve Gackt playing all kinds of games, with friends or staff members sometimes joining in.
ガクトのゲーム帰ってきた。ガメセンテル。
ハマった。ハマった。
During the 2000s, Gackt was a poster boy of the Takano Yuri Beauty Clinic. He was featured in commercials, magazines and promotional events.
私の名はミスターパーフェクト。完璧な美を目指している。
想像できました。今度こそパーフェクトです。どうですか、ミスターパーフェクト。
素晴らしい。
くびれも抜群。
まだつまめる。
高野ゆりえ。
As you know by now, before Gackt started a solo career, he was a member of the visual kei band Malice Miser. Gackt has said that his motivations for getting into the visual kei industry were related to the fact that he viewed it as a purely Japanese phenomenon that had potential to become popular in overseas markets. This led to people accusing him of using Malice Miser as a stepping stone and discarding the band once it became clear that he could reach stardom on his own. In 2021, a tabloid Shukan Bunshun published an article about the story of a married woman cheating on her husband with Gackt. According to the article, the 35-year-old woman was a fan of Gackt and she sent him a birthday message on Instagram. Gackt and her started talking and eventually they met in real life to have sex twice. The woman's husband accused Gackt of shattering their ordinary married life. Gackt has not denied the story, only saying that he wouldn't do it if he knew she was married. My personal theory is that the story is true, but Gackt wasn't aware the woman was married, and when the husband found out about it, he thought they could use the situation to get money out of Gackt. Woody Harrelson and Gackt got along well on the set of Bunraku. When the movie was screened at the Toronto International Film Festival, fans couldn't help but notice Harrison's eyes were drifting southwards each time he was standing near Gackt. The platinum blonde hairstyle Gackt had in 1999 in the Vanilla era is uncannily similar to the Final Fantasy VII character Cloud. Remember when I mentioned a company releasing Gackt figures that were actually figures of Squall? Well, Squall is a character from Final Fantasy VIII that Gackt claims was modeled after him. The designers of the game had not confirmed this and instead insisted that Squall is based on River Phoenix. People like to point out the visual similarities between Gackt and Kibutsuji Muzan from Demon Slayer. Gackt played into this when a video of him singing a cover of the song Homura while dressed as Muzan went live on his YouTube channel just after Halloween. The video became a viral hit and Gackt is now consistently on people's list for actors to play Muzan in a live-action adaptation. For basically as long as he has been in the public eye, Gackt had conventionally pretty teeth, but perhaps because he was serious about the career overseas or perhaps just because he wanted to, he got tooth implants around the same time he got his third nose. More on that later. Young Gackt had a tendency of getting off on the wrong foot with people, and Sugizo is no exception. When at an event where both Gackt and Sugizo were playing, Gackt heard that someone from Sugizo's camp had been mean to someone in his camp. Gackt went to speak his mind, leading to an argument in Sugizo's dressing room. Years later, when Skin happened, Gackt was apprehensive because he thought that Sugizo hated him. He asked Miyavi to mediate, but he refused due to Sugizo being his senior and that would be awkward. So when Gackt went to meet Sugizo himself, it turned out that Sugizo had brushed off the incident and acted like it never happened. These entries refer to how the shape of Gackt's nose has been changing over the years. His first nose is the one he had in Malice Miser. When he started a solo career he got his second nose, and he has his third nose since 2006. One of Gackt's business ventures involved him buying a mountain in the Japanese Alps and a skiing resort built on it. Multiple fan club events have been organized there. He decided that the resort business was not for him due to the seasonal nature and sold the resort before he immigrated to Malaysia in 2014. Gackt stylized his artist name in all caps when he celebrated his 10th anniversary as a solo artist in 2009. Some fans have a clear preference for the era that preceded it or the era that came after. Gackt and Haitani are fans in real life, but Gackt's statements about the other have long led fans to speculate that his feelings are of a romantic nature. Perhaps most famously, Gackt has said that he would marry Haitani if he was a woman. In June 2021, Gackt and Haitani performed on back-to-back dates at the same venue in Osaka. Gackt invited Haitani to have some tea, but Haitani refused, saying that he wanted to focus on his concert. So I guess it's plain hard to get. People watching the Moonchild movie starring Gackt and Haitani couldn't help but notice the homoerotic undertones in the relationship between the two characters. I guess you can compare it to Lestat and Louis in Interview with the Vampire. In 2012, Gackt's personal management agency was hit by the tax authorities as part of a larger investigation into the company that was managing his artist activities at the time. Officials visited Gackt's home in Tokyo to take possession of documents and devices, and the media wasted no time printing headlines calling Gackt a tax evader, revealing the location of his home to the public in the meantime. Gackt was not allowed to say or explain anything while the investigation was ongoing, but neither him nor his agency were found to have committed any crimes.
I have a question.
Oh, okay, sure.
Are you with the tax collector's office or something?
Do I look like a tax collector?
Okay. Next.
Yeah, I'm not gonna... Don't worry, that's not the reason why I brought the cameras, it's okay.
Okabe Satoru is assumed to be Gackt's old legal name. It remains in old records from the schools he attended as a child. Oshiro is his mother's maiden name, and he is said to have first changed his name to Oshiro Satoru after his parents divorced, and later changed just his first name to match the phonetic reading of his artist name. Gackt visits the gravesite and family home of Kami, Malice Miser's drummer who he was very close to, twice a year, on Kami's day of birth and day of death. He has shared photos and videos of him doing so, and after fans went looking for the site themselves against the family's wishes, some want to blame Gackt for revealing the location. Nothing Gackt has ever shown can in fact be used to deduce the location unless you live in the neighborhood or were already familiar through hearsay. So it is the fans' responsibility to refrain from going there even if they know the location. In photos and videos taken in Gackt's house, numerous tumblers containing who knows what kind of concoction are never far away. Gackt was born left-handed but was forcibly corrected to write with his right hand in school and is now pretty much ambidextrous. When applying eyeliner, he uses his right hand on the right eye and his left hand on the left eye. Yep, Gackt sleeps naked. Gackt falls in love with people regardless of their gender. During his late teens and early 20s he was in relationships with both men and women, but he says that he has ultimately come to physically prefer women.
いやだから変な常識にとらわれない方がいいと思うんですよ。そうですね。だって相手にドキドキできるって、別にそれがね、例えば異性であったら異性でも別にいいと思うし、でもそれが同性の時もあってもいいと思うんだよ。
According to research, 97% of Japanese people aged 10 to 70 know who Gackt is. Gackt likes kissing a lot and he is known to kiss his friends. In 2012, Tabloid Friday published photos taken of Gackt and singer Iconic, now known as Itomi Yumi, while on a date. When asked about the relationship during a press conference for his stage play, Gackt said that they hadn't discussed whether they were officially a couple or not and he would ask her next time they were in bed. And that will be it for this video. I'm planning to cover 3 tiers in every video, so if everything goes well, we should be done with this iceberg in 2 more videos. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for Amy for making this iceberg and providing explanations. And thank you to Haitani for being my patron. I hope you all enjoyed watching this video. Goodbye.
Habanero, yo.